Security concerns surrounding the Sochi Olympics are now becoming a topic of discussion. It is 2014. It's a new year. Lewis, we're here. We made it. And this is the first show of the new year. And we have to talk about the upcoming Winter Olympics. We talked on the bonus show on the last show about a suicide bombing in Russia. There has now been a second suicide bombing, two suicide bombings within 24 hours, killed at least 31 people in southern Russia, highlighting what some are saying is the obvious terror threat implicit with hosting the 2014 Winter Olympics. There was a suicide bomber on a bus earlier in the week in Volgograd who killed at least 14 people and left nearly 30 wounded, according to Russian officials. A day after, another suicide bombing killed at least 17 at a train station in the city. Vladimir Markin is the spokesman for Russia's main investigative agency, and he said that they were similar types of bombs, very close in proximity. There is every reason for investigators to think right now that the two terror attacks are linked. No one immediately claiming responsibility, but they come several months after Chechen rebel leader Doku Umarov called for attacks against Russian civilian targets. So the government has deployed a lot of soldiers, police, security personnel for the Olympic Games. This was not in Sochi, but certainly this is making a lot of people, Lewis, fearful. And I think that is the idea of terror. And it is not without precedent that Olympic Games have been places to create fear and create violence that is discussed all around the world, which is often the primary goal of terrorist groups.
Right. They'll just have to beef up security. It's going to be a pain for everyone who wants to see the games, but it seems that it's going to be a necessary step.
Would you be thinking twice if you had tickets to go to the Olympic Games? Most people I've talked to and most of what I've read, people in general in these situations say, you cannot allow this to just make you bail out altogether if you plan to be there either for leisure or as covering the Olympic Games. Would this do anything to your desire to go?
I can't help but think about it. I mean, that's just me. I mean, because of the nature of the games and the history of attacks or attempted attacks, I probably just wouldn't purchase tickets in the first place because of that.
But let's say you already had them, right? Let's say you got them a year and a half ago, and now, a couple of months before, there are these two suicide attacks nearby, not exactly there. I have to tell you, I think I would just go, knowing that statistically speaking, the odds of actually being injured or killed by terrorism are so infinitesimally low. I think I would just go. It certainly would be in the back of my mind. It's the same thing as people who are afraid of flying, right? And then you say, hold on, statistically speaking, whether I'm afraid or not, the odds of actually being in a commercial plane crash are so small that I just need to go about my life.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I had the tickets and for some strange reason I wanted to go watch the Olympics in person, I would go knowing that you're right, statistically, probably nothing is going to happen to me.